The fifth method of homeschooling I'm going to talk about is sometimes called unschooling. Well, there's a little confusion here. So there's a method called eclectic homeschooling, and that's where you pick and choose from all the different companies and many others that I mentioned and didn't mention. So that's kind of the eclectic method where you pick and choose. So there's another thing called the unschooling, and that's where we don't buy a lot of official curriculum. We don't, need any certain company, don't follow any certain method. We think that learning happens very organically. So when you're cooking in the kitchen, you're teaching your kids about quarter cup, half cup, and measuring with ounces and things like that. When you're out and about, when the kids see a bug at the park they're interested in, we go home, we look up that bug, we learn more about other types of bugs like it and what they eat and all these things, and all of a sudden we're learning very organically. So I just there's two methods there really, but they're sometimes called the same thing. Oh, that's the eclectic method where you just do whatever you want. Oh, you're unschooling where you just do whatever you want. It's no. The eclectic method is where you're picking and choosing from different methodologies for different subjects to different ages. Unschooling is where you don't use a lot of books from any certain company at all. You live, and this happens very organically in your family. And so that would be a family who's very, active in daily life, working education into everything they do. Now, I will just say, I wasn't sure how to rank these from the very beginning. Do we go with the oldest? Do we go with the biggest? Do we go with whatever? I would say the eclectic method, where you pick and choose from different companies, is probably the biggest way that people homeschool in America right now. So all that to say, there's a lot of methods to homeschooling. How do you know which is the right for you? Well, that would be kind of analyzing your teaching style. Do you want to hands-on teach everything? That would be more traditional or a unit study. Or do you want the kids to be very independent, do their own thing? They're a computer-based curriculum in the traditional style like Monarch, but it's very student-led. They just read it to themselves at their own grade level and they go. Or do you want to be very hands-on? We're doing crafts, we're doing nature walks, we're doing all these things. So that would be the question is, what's your teaching style? Which you might think, I have no idea what my teaching style is. But really, when you envision homeschooling, does it thrill you to think of, examining bird nests and going on nature hikes? Or are you I have no time for that, or that's not really my area of specialty, so I'll let the kids be self-directed in a traditional curriculum. So that's one factor. Another is your kids' learning style. If they're coming straight out of a classroom, they might love the nature hikes. They might love lots of reading. They might have been bored out of their minds because school was so easy and they were just passing time, probably acting out because they're bored. Well, now they love to read. All you got to do is take them to the library or buy a bunch of books and they'll go on their own. Oh, you're a Charlotte Mason family. That's their learning style. Go that route. If you have a bunch of kids or especially close in age, maybe unit studies take a lot of the work out of it for you, and your kids can, decide as a group, do we want to learn about, the kings and queens of England this year, or do we want to learn about, dinosaurs? And you can kind of pick and choose based on what different kids are interested at different grade levels. So I know it's not a concrete answer. If you have specific questions about a specific scenario, a big part of my job was tell me about your family, how many students, learning styles, budget, how much time mom has. That's how what's the perfect curriculum for one family is not a good fit at all for another. And so if you have questions or have a specific situation, drop that in the comments. I'll be happy to answer if I can. If I get some comments over and over, I'll cut a video on it and try to help more folks. So thanks so much for watching. If you haven't yet, follow the page, like and share. Stay free, stay the course.